Today's coverage, we start with Iran and those people who had to leave the country because the regime wouldn't allow them to speak and do what they felt like. Yes, we start with a special guest, an Iran-born actor who left her home at a very tender age, and with the Iran war expanding and intensifying with each passing day, what is Mandana's take on the conflict, the regime's oppression, elimination of Ali Khamenei, and what does she think about the future of Iran? Let's talk to her without wasting any more time. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm talking to Iran-born actor Mandana Karimi. Thank you.
And Thank you so much for having me.
And today we'll only talk about Iran and the people who had to leave the country. So my first question to you, Mandana, is that when we say oppressive, what does it mean to live in an oppressive regime on a day-to-day basis?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate your time. It means as a woman, as a man, as a kid, as husband, lover, boyfriend, that you have absolutely no right. And you need to be in Iran and live there to understand the scale of their crimes. And as an Iranian who had to actually leave the country, I'm not the only one. There are 1,000 people, a million Iranians that they left. And we could have been one of the girls or one of the people that we see on the news that they lost their life. In Iran, you don't have any rights. And I'm talking about, people want to really focus on dancing and, singing and music or having, whatever you want to wear, having a right to wear whatever you want. But it goes way deeply into a society. It goes, you cannot even choose your own religion. If you have any other friends who are from other religions, I remember it in my time, I used to have friends who weren't Muslim and, they had to hide their religion. So it was a very secretive thing. On their passport, yes, it could have said that, they are Muslim, but they had to hide their own belief system. Then you have no absolute right as a woman when you want to divorce. Example: if you kill your rapist, while you're trying to protect yourself as a self-defense, you actually get killed if they arrest you, not the rapist as a woman. So the law, the instruction, the education, the way you think, the way you eat, the way you behave, the way you want to live your life, you have absolutely no right. And I want people, and especially Indian audience, to understand that this war, which is happening right now, it for Iranians, it feels more of a rescue mission. We feel like finally the world has heard us and the help has come to us, because we've been on war with this regime for over 48 years. And if I want to talk about the stories that I know, my own experience, it goes, the list is so long. It's not a one incident or two incident that we can actually talk about it. But with this regime in Iran, you have absolutely no rights.
Mandana, what is the obsession of this regime with headscarf and women? What is this obsession?
See, it's not an obsession. A lot of people think that, especially in India, the Shia community, they count and they accept Khamenei and his regime and Khomeini and his regime as the Messiah of the Islamic revolution, right? So it's not an obsession with hijab. It's more of the oppression that they have on people and the way they want to control you. Because if you look at it, all the terrorist organization that Iranian regime has been funding for years and years, right? And the way their own children or their own families are living in America, living in the UK, they party, they drink, and I know a few of them personally. I know them personally because the school that I went to, Tehran, most of these people who their fathers is part of the regime or their mom is part of the regime, they studied with me. And as a kid, I never understood, because I used to see their parents look different outside, but the moment I used to go to their house, everything was different. Or even now, when I'm older, when you know these kids who are living in the UK or in America, they drink, They party, they have girlfriends, they travel, they have this luxury living lifestyle. But then their own fathers or their own regime, so-called Khamenei's regime, is preaching that, oh, you have to cover your head. It's about the control. It's about the fact that our country has been taken from us forcefully to make us look like Arabs. We are not Arab country. If you look at the history that we had, years and years, we're not Arabs, we are Persians. And the obsession with cover up, and the obsession with using the whole name Islam and kill people in the name of Islam is just a I don't know how to even call it, because you need to be mentally unstable or very ill to have such a mentality, to preach something that you don't even put it in your own lifestyle or in your own life.
So are you saying that to Iran, one, that is for the IRGC and for the people in the clergy and their children, and then there is another Iran, which is a poor Iran, deprived Iran, which is about the general civil society and the sons, children, daughters, relatives of that clergy and IRGC. They are all over the world living a very comfortable life.
Yes, there has been so many conversations in universities, and these are the best universities in Iran. There was a girl. She actually created this medicine, and she was honestly asking them. She said, "Listen, I've got 100 something thousand pounds scholarship, but I don't want to leave my country. I want to stay here. This is my country, and I want to make my medicine for Iran, for Iranians. And you're not giving me money. You're not supporting me. So do you want me like any other Iranians who they left the country? Do you want me also to leave and make a life for myself in America?" The guy at the university says straightforward, "Yes, leave. If you're not happy here, leave."
Okay.
That's the answer that we get. Or on the street, if we go protesting peacefully for our own rights, people get mass murders, as exactly what happened in January 8th and 9th.
Mandana, is there a liberal Iran? Is there a section of population which can rise up against this regime? Or the revolution has really made the society conservative? What is your take on that subject?
See, as per as one of the studies that I've seen, 84% of Iranians are against this regime. And there is this massive rise up with the new generation, which they don't believe in any other religion anymore. No Islam, no Zoroastrian, or nothing. What they want, they want to thrive within the country. They want to live life. They want to study. They want to thrive within their own motherland. Then, if you look at it, Iran is 92 million population, right? Within that 92 million, the other, let's say 20%, who's in support of the regime, right? But the problem is, when we talk, when we raise our opinion, which is the 80%, we get mass murdered. And then when this 20% they're talking, it actually shows as a solidarity with the regime. So when you look at it broadly, it looks like they have more supporters, but in actual numbers, they don't. And another situation this year, it actually showed that truth, because when in February 14th, when all the Iranians in diaspora, they went to the streets and they showed their solidarity with Iranian people, every single person who was Iranian, they said one name, Javid Shah, we want to change the regime. They didn't talk about, oh, we want to calm down with the morality police, or we have problem with this. The message was clear, we want this regime to go. Because if this regime stays, this 80% that is a supporter of changing of the regime, they're going to be killing every single day. And imagine the scale of things. Right now, my country is in a war, as per as the media and everyone else, right? Iran is under fire. Imagine your own government, who has bombs dropping every minute. They have put their own guards, Basijis. They are sitting in the massive cars with gunshots, and they attacking its own citizen. So what kind of a government are you? And that also shows us another point, that Iranians have been trying to send a message to the world again and again. This regime cannot be trusted. Please stop negotiating with the regime. Because this regime, in past few days, it has shown, they've taken excuses of, oh, Israel attacked us first. We have lost our leader, which is Khamenei. So now we're going to attack everyone. They've attacked all the Muslim countries in their neighborhood. So this regime cannot be trusted, first. It has to go not only for Iranians people, but also for the entire world, and specifically for the peaceful Middle East. Because to be honest, we don't know tomorrow what this regime is gonna do and like decide to bomb another country.
Can there be a can there be a democratic, liberal Iran? Do you think that that sort of a trajectory Iran can take, like Anglo-Saxon democracies? I mean, it's just a comparison.
Of course, of course. I like the point that you're actually mentioning, because see, if you look at the Iranian people outside of Iran, right? We have built industries. We have so many brilliant people. It's not, Iran is not Iraq. We are highly educated. We are doctors, engineers, and so many other aspects of a society that it's so easy for us to build it. If an Iranian guy has gone to America or a UK, has become a CEO of one of the biggest companies, or they built so many companies, do you think in a rich country, rich cultured country like Iran, we cannot build it again? And again, I'm going back to Iran, people in Iran, by having so many difficulties for women, for young generation to study. They are so aware of society. They are so smart. They're so intelligent, and the education rate, by the way, from what I've heard from Iran, it's 75% of the society is educated, and at that number, more than 60% is women. So imagine if we have this regime which has mass murdered its own people, it's gone, it's completely gone, and we get help of other nations, and we have our own people to go back to the country. Of course, we can build it back.
Do you get to talk to the people who you have been in touch with, your own family, your relatives in Iran, or it's completely impossible as Iran is the most isolated, or I would say sanctioned country? Or if you do, how do you get to talk to them? What's the feedback you get from your own relatives and friends there?
Yeah. See, I have my immediate family in Iran. I have my mother, my father, my brothers. Everyone is in Iran. I don't have anyone outside of Iran, to be honest. There is. I haven't met my brother and my mom, for my entire family, actually, as a matter of fact, for over 6 years. And not because we couldn't meet each other. I tell you why we didn't meet. Because the price of tickets, the price of coming out of Iran, it's been so expensive and it's unaffordable. My older brother, he's actually an engineer. He has studied for many years. He even many years ago he came to India to study, but because it's so difficult to make money, you cannot sustain a normal life. They haven't been able to come outside of Iran and meet me. And if I
Are you
have
saying
helped
that
them,
Iran has become a poorer society?
yes, it is. You know how many doctors, how many double PhDs, how many people that they're highly educated, they drive a taxi? My own brother, in his free time, he drives a taxi to be able to sustain his life, because
Okay.
the inflammation it's so high. And an example, the budget, like in Obama's time, the billions of dollars which was released to Iran, where that money goes? Because technically, if you would have spent that money in your economy, it would be a change. And imagine a rich country like Iran, every year, every month, it has gone poorer and poorer and poorer, like because people cannot sustain anymore.
But Mandana, do you think that with this war, regime is going to go anywhere, because they have created a succession plan? A lot of people are saying that the IRGC is still in control, but there's such massive, widespread destruction which is taking place of all the urban centers.
See, let me clear one fact. This regime has lied and lied and lied. Has hired so-called reporters, paid them, took them to Iran. CNN was covering Iran today. You know, they're talking about, oh, the supermarkets are stuck. Yes, you moron. Sorry, I'm using this language, because people cannot afford it. Yes, because people are in their houses, because people are getting bombed, and if they come to the street, they're getting killed by their own regime. This regime has lied for so many years, and they are still lying. But the sad part is, which I want to address the other nations, the other governments or governors or whoever sees this interview, is that the scary part for Iranian people is the fact to, even if we think that this war is going to stop and this regime is going to stay and people, they're going to go back. Because if that's the case, if the crimes that they have done in past few years, and let's just talk about past few months, because since
No,
January,
I have
what
also
they've
seen the
done,
way they have oppressed women, the way they have killed activists, the way
yes,
they have beaten people in various cities by thousands. I think in the last protest, I think more than 5,000 people were killed.
no, 50,000.
50,000 people were killed.
50,000. So if this regime, what they've done since January until now, and then they went to war and Khamenei killed, if we go back to normal, so-called normal, and the war is over, there is not going to be any Iranian left.
You know,
And
you know,
and and the governments and societies and people, they're going to think back and say, oh, we should have helped them. And what I want to say, and forget the Iranians, if this regime stays in Middle East, what's going to happen is worse than what's happening right now for Middle East.
no, absolutely, I completely agree with you. They are destroying all the infrastructure in context of data, in context of water salination plants, in context of cloud servers, in context of
Yes.
LNG plants, in context of crude manufacturing facilities. You know, I really don't know whether what will happen in context of the Brent. The Qatar's energy minister just said that you know, it
Yes.
might go up to $150 per barrel. And imagine what effect it will have for the poorer economies. But my last question to you is,
Sure.
my last question to you is, where does the hope stem from? From the women of Iran?
Yes, the hope stands that the world, they're going to open their eyes and finally see this regime for the murderous regime that they are. And hopefully they're going to give hands together and get rid of this regime. And there is a concern that people say, oh, who's going to come next? Iranian people, they have decided for themselves. Reza Shah Pahlavi is the bridge that we need to come to help us to take back our country. And he has said it again and again, there is going to be a voting system. Yes, for now he's going to be the bridge, but there is going to be a voting system.
A democracy? Democracy?
Yeah, whatever it is right now, our focus is getting rid of this regime.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want people to keep repeating that and knowing that we have a leader, and his name is Reza Shah Pahlavi.